It's a unique Spanish form of stake torture. Spanish soldiers drove stakes into the earth, then they immobilized the two American thieves by their limbs. Even their necks were covered with a cowhide rope. They were left in the sun to die, but the white man had practiced bone shrinking. His writhing fists rubbed blood stains. He was able to free himself from the deadbolt. Jaroo glances at the soldiers not far away and tucks his hand back in, shouting. He told the Spanish soldiers that he had the stolen gold with him. The soldier arrives with a pistol. He carelessly threw his pistol on the ground. He rushed to take out the gold from Jaroo's body. Jaroo picks up the pistol. He killed the soldier with one shot. Then, he killed the other soldiers with 2 shots. Jaroo and Luke wanted to change steal to rob, so they found the local Native Americans. They gathered about 100 men to storm a castle guarded by Spanish soldiers, promising the Indians women and horses as payment. And underneath the castle was an inexhaustible supply of gold. Only Luke and Jaroo knew about it. The Indian chiefs jumped at the chance to do it, but 500 guards were too much to handle. So Luke came up with a plan. Every Saturday, the Spanish soldiers would come to the village and turn over the cards. To put it simply put, they would pick out the women of the neighboring villages. The Mexican men were outraged, and if anyone made a move, they'd be shot in the head, then another shot. And they're gone. Luke, Jaroo, and his native brothers waiting for the Spanish soldiers to shed their veneer of civilization. The whole Mexican village was about to go up in flames. Luke, Jaroo came out of nowhere. Shot after shot. He took out the beasts. Shot after shot. They're all dead. Shot after shot. Tilda, these are 2 pure men. They captured the uniforms of the Spanish soldiers. What happened to the Native Americans? When they put on their uniforms, they're instantly civilized. They rode their horses and pretended to have captured Luke and Jaroo. When the Spanish soldiers in the castle saw that they were their own people, they immediately opened the gates and welcomed them with open arms. At the same time, some of the natives outside the castle waved flags and called out for the project, attracting a large number of Spanish soldiers to defend the walls. Luke took this opportunity to ignite the explosives in his hand and threw them directly at the water tower in the castle to completely solve the Spanish soldiers' water problem. Then Jaroo also threw dynamite and blew up the granary in the castle. It completely eliminated the problem of food for the Spanish soldiers. Without waiting for the soldiers on the wall to counterattack, Luke, Jaroo, and the natives rushed to retreat. After this sneak attack, the Spanish soldiers inside the castle soon ran out of water. They ran out of food. They could only put up a white flag and talk to Luke, Jaroo outside. Jaroo is a man of honor. I'm here to rob your gold. The Spanish general smiled and took Jaroo to the underground vault. This is just the tip of the iceberg of the gold they've plundered from all over the world. This scene is enough to make Jaroo's heart tremble. The Spanish general took advantage of the situation. He gave Jaroo a wagon full of gold and some horses for Jaroo's native brothers. And with that, Jaroo left the castle satisfied. He didn't notice at all the fuse of a bomb under the wagon was already lit. Luke was dissatisfied that only one wagon full of gold was not enough to share. Jaroo left alone in a rage. Luke was so angry that he chased after him and beat him up. In the confusion, Luke found the ignited fuse. He kicked Jaroo off the wagon. Jaroo got up and wanted to continue the fight. At that moment, the carriage just exploded. The strong sound of the explosion has not yet woken up Jaroo. Jaroo was hiding a gold bar. Luke shot the gold bar twice. It turned out to be a fake made of lead. Luke, Jaroo, and their native brothers were furious. They decided to attack the gold castle at night. How did the Americans fight a siege? They tied a piece of burnt iron to the sole of their shoe. The toes of their feet were pushed into the cracks of the bricks with the tips of the iron, and with their hands, they hooked their hoofs into the cracks in the walls. And so they climbed the walls with their native brothers. They attacked the city. One of the soldiers was on patrol. One of the soldiers was blocked by a piece of iron through his chest. The general's woman rushed out to check. She found the bandits attacking the city, but instead of calling out for help, she went home and opened the attic in front of 500 Spanish soldiers. The soldiers were instantly blessed. One by one, they called out to their brothers to watch. Not a single one of them looked outside the walls. Sleeping soldiers were awakened by the sound of rock climbing, but they were attracted by the general's woman, even when officers rushed over to scold his men. Without blinking an eye, Luke was the first to climb the wall. He killed the soldiers in a flash, and his native brothers were dumbfounded. He almost forgot that he was here to attack the city. Luke immediately poured gunpowder into the cannon. He used a torch to light the cannon and fired it. The first shot of the gold rush was fired instantly. The Spanish soldiers were just waking up. What they have just seen may be their last glory. The natives took advantage of their position on the city walls. The Spanish soldiers had nowhere to defend. The horses have been frightened and rushed out of the castle. The Spanish soldiers can no longer escape. Soon there's a big fight. The Spanish officers rushed to light explosives to open an escape route to send the Spanish general away from certain death. And of course, he left his woman behind. And a beautiful woman would be a perfect match for a hero. The woman was only captured by the general. In order to be safe among the 100 men, the woman chose Luke, the fiercest of them all. Jaroo got to extra gold pieces as compensation, but the boss of the natives suddenly saw the gold. Of course, Jaroo wouldn't give it to him. One of them pulled out a gun, The other one drew a knife. The leader of the natives was killed in no time. The next day, when the leader's men saw that the leader was dead, they left the castle with their people. No one knows why, but Jaroo and Luke had no wagon to pull the gold. On the other hand, the Spanish general came back with his army. So Jaroo staged an empty castle. He waltzed in and negotiated with the Spanish general. Jaroo and the women opened fire on the walls to create the illusion that there were countless natives inside the city. With unlimited firepower, no Spanish soldier dares to go up. The general and Luke fought alone. In the end, the general was cut down. The Spanish soldiers ran away without the gold. The truth is, the gold is fake. The gold was made of lead. Jaroo is now completely numb and realizes that he has been completely deceived by Luke. So he wanted to kill Luke to relieve his hatred, but Luke attacked him first. This gold scam ends here. In the end, Luke got a daughter-in-law. So here's the question. Why do you think we need 500 soldiers to guard the fake gold?